Afghanistan, a land encircled by the Soviet Union, Iran and Pakistan, and through which the armies of Alexander the Great once marched. Invaded in 1979 by 85,000 Russian troops, it has been at war ever since. Here, in the valley of Jegdelek, 30 miles southeast of the capital Kabul, I am encamped with a group of resistance fighters from the Jamiat-e-Islam party, one of several different political and ethnic groups making up the Afghan resistance, or Mujahideen. The cry of Allah Akbar, God is great, rouses one from sleep every morning. For the Mujahideen, this is a holy war. But the struggle against the non-Muslim invaders is also bound up with tribal feuds, different political parties striving for hegemony, and simple monetary gain from international aid. Many Mujahideen are barely teenagers, often only 13 or 14 years old. Those Kalashnikov rifles are their most cherished possessions. Today, they are going to attack a Russian post, and even the deputy commander cleans his own gun. Only the cook has more important duties, preparing the tea. Habibullah, my guide, has spent 7 years fighting for Afghanistan's freedom. Like many Mujahideen, he has fought in different provinces, even in Kabul itself.
How many Russians do you kill?
6. No.
This swimming pool, filled with water from the valley's irrigation channels, is a bomb crater. Sheltered from the sun and Russian bombers, Commander Farouk discusses the details for another rebel leader's attack on the Russians. Farouk offers the commander provisions of onions, sugar and coffee, and warns him to be careful of children in his group. The varied physiognomy of the Afghan people reflects how over the centuries Mongols, Uzbeks, Greeks and other ethnic groups have made this land their home as conquerors, refugees or simply nomads turned farmers. The Mujahideen now begin the long march to war, with rockets and other weapons strangely called Stalin organs strapped to their horses and mules. They stop at a small resistance hut, indistinguishable at even a short distance from the surrounding mountainside and invisible to Russian planes. Here the Afghans prove their prowess at rifle shooting, their love of over 100 years. Hours later, several Mujahideen bands rendezvous together. They listen respectfully to Farouk, who gives the briefing for the attack and splits the force into 3 groups. Yet, independent and restless, the Mujahideen soon shuffle about, eager to air their own opinions. This proud man, with his Chinese machine gun, can remember the Third Anglo-Afghan War of 1919. For him and others, war is a way of life. The Mujahideen perform a short religious ceremony at this last mountain stream before the Russian post. Each Afghan washes his hands and carefully touches with his mouth, cheeks and forehead a sadar, or blanket with a copy of the Quran wrapped inside. This prepares them for a possible death. Even the cook will fight. Jacques is an ex-French foreign legionnaire and electrician.
How long have you been with the Mujahideen?
Now, 3 weeks.
3 weeks this year?
Yeah.
And you've been before?
Yeah, last year, for 5 weeks.
Did you fight last year?
No,
You
only
didn't?
making pictures in the movie.
I see.
Yeah.
So now they trust you, now they let you fight?
Yeah, because last year I found the Japanese that fight here with them. So I know that I had the opportunity to make fight too. And I asked to their commandant.
Right.
So he told me it's okay.
What did you do before you came to Afghanistan?
I have a job in France.
Right. What do you do?
I work in a telephone company.
And this is your summer holiday?
Yeah, something like this. If you want.
Are you afraid
Afraid?
of the attack today?
Not so much. Just a little maybe, but I'm used
Yes.
with fight.
But you volunteered to go for the most dangerous job.
Yeah, if you do something, you must do as better as you can.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm crazy. I think that.
Yes. You're fighting with the Chinese Kalashnikov.
Yeah, it would be nice to fight Russian with the communist weapon.
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, scarcely half a mile from the Russian post, Farouk primes the rockets for the attack, which is set to commence at 5 o'clock. The Russian post overlooks the strategically vital Kabul-Jalalabad road, which gives the Russian army access to the southeastern corner of Afghanistan and to the Pakistan border, through which come most military supplies for the Mujahideen. This highway and the Kabul River lie in a 35-kilometer gorge named the Death Trap. One group of Mujahideen now position themselves on a ridge above the post, with their rockets spread out in preparation. Suddenly, 6 Russian helicopter gunships, or Mi-24s, appear. Their indestructibility, except by a direct hit on the cockpit or back propeller, and their awesome firepower, has led the Afghans to call them flying tanks. Little wonder the Afghans cannot win the war. However, the arrival of the American Stinger missile and the promise of 600 more next year has now made Mi-24s vulnerable. They have barely disappeared when the Mujahideen start the attack. The post receives several direct hits. Russian tanks and lorries make for cover, and the post begins to retaliate. "Don't bother shooting, it's a waste of ammunition," shouts an Afghan. These clouds of black smoke are Russian shrapnel bombs. As the attack continues on relentlessly, some Mujahideen sit down and joke, their rockets finished. It has not occurred to them to leave Afghanistan. This harsh, war-torn land is their home, and the war is their job, from 5 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. Habibullah's best friend was killed in the attack and buried here at his home in the valley of Jegdalek.